Hello, welcome to North Devon in England. My name's David Charles, International Psychic Medium. Today I'm bringing you a reading which I do around once a month, and it's called What is he thinking about me now? What is he thinking about me now? Now this reading comes with 4 frequently asked questions in each stack. There are 4 stacks of cards. Pick a card reading, and there are 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'd like you to pick one. 1, 2, 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3 or 4. You may like the crystals and stones that are on them. You may like a lucky number. Pick 1, 2, 3 or 4, and it's a timeless reading, which means you'll find this reading when you're meant to find it. You could find it today or in 10 years from today. Makes no difference when you find it. You'll find your reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. So if you pick 1, 2, 3 or 4, you may want to pause the video or just pick 1, 2, 3 or 4. And we'll get number 1 ready and put 2, 3 and 4 up there. This is called What is he thinking about me now? And it comes with 4 special questions on each stack. And the 4 questions for this one are: will I have children or more children? Will he or she call me soon? Is there interference from outsiders? And will my family accept him? Some of these may not be relevant, but I'm going to ask or answer those 4 questions at the end of this stack, and there'll be 4 questions for the other 3 stacks as well. And after all that, I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers chosen by me with my spirit guides just for you before we started filming a few minutes ago. 6 lucky numbers at the end of this that could change your life forever. And remember, if you're gambling with them, you must do it responsibly. Let's begin. Number 1. As I said, you can choose this reading today or 10 years from today. You'll find it when your spirit guides want you to find it. What is he thinking about me now? I do this about once a month. It's so popular because things do change for some people and people change. And the 4 questions with it. And don't forget that if you chose number 1 from these well over 500 cards here, number 1, there will be a message in here for you somewhere. There may be more than one, but it won't all resonate with you. Take in what does and ignore what doesn't. So let's see if we've got some of this. Probably we've heard in previous readings if you haven't waited long between them. But number 1, there is some jealousy around you. These are your negatives. I'm going to tell you all the negatives, get them out of the way, then we do the lovely, beautiful, lovey-dovey stuff near the end, the positives. So, a bit of backstabbing, bit of jealousy, a few sleepless nights. I don't think you're necessarily sleeping too well, number 1. And that means that something may be worrying you, or something's playing on your mind, or you're anxious about something. And as usual, I don't see much to be anxious about, so you may be worrying about things unnecessarily. However, well, having said that, there are messages of bickering and arguments around you. And the question, of course, is, what is he thinking about me now? The question is, it seems as though for some of you, he's trying to get his own back or make a point that he's not going to be sort of messed around, or that he feels he can do what he wants and get away with it in some cases. Of course, there has to be some boundaries. You may need to teach him that's not going to happen, or he may need to teach you that it is going to happen. So there may be a bit of bickering. Some of it's a bit unnecessarily, I think, but there could be arguments around you that are coming from outsiders, family members and people like that. And with all psychic readings, if the spirit world predicts arguments, it means that you'll lose, so don't bother. It means don't get into arguments. That includes legal arguments and all sorts of arguments. And if other people are quarrelling, keep out of it. Don't get involved, because you'll get dragged in. Now these are your negatives. So there's not many. Sleepless nights, maybe some arguing, maybe some bickering and misunderstandings, and maybe you're arguing over something daft and you shouldn't be doing it. And sometimes you may argue and the next day you can't even remember what started it. And then you think, well, why did we do it? So you mustn't. The reading for some of you, number 1, indicates that you're waiting for something to happen. You may be waiting from something from him. Of course, it could be her, it doesn't have to be him. Because the reading is called What is he thinking about me now? It can mean, of course, what is she thinking about me now? Depends what sort of person you're looking at. what sex person you're looking at. But the reading indicates karma, which is good. It's not bad. It means you'll get what you deserve, number one. And I think your karma is very good. I'll tell you why in a minute when we get to the good stuff. You may be seeking out help from a professional person who is kind and caring. You may know who that is. It could be a family member that's a professional in that area. Someone who likes to do good things for fellow humans. Do you know who that is, number one? Think about it. It could be a man or a woman. But that person may be giving you advice. It could be a father figure or an old uncle type of bloke or your next door neighbour. So, the waiting game is predicted here. So you may be waiting for things to come from this person. The person we're looking at, what is he thinking about me now? You may be waiting for something from him. And I believe he's thinking, for some of you, that he's going to keep you waiting. So, he may be being a bit stroppy or a bit awkward at the moment, or he may feel that it's nothing to worry about. Now, as quite often is the case, I don't necessarily see you as soulmates, and you're going to turn the video off now if you don't like that, but I'm only the messenger. So for some of you, you may not be soulmates, but a lot of you will have heard me say many times that I feel that soulmates are quite rare, and you don't always have your soulmate. Everyone thinks they do, but your soulmate can be your brother or your sister. But there's no definite soulmate here, but things are improving. And I believe that if you wait, and you have to wait, as I said, there is a bit of a pause, but things are going on underneath. You're not waiting for nothing. I believe that you'll get exactly what you want. I'm not sure what it is you do want. If it's true love and passion, then you will get it if you're patient. But there seems to be some gamesmanship going on between you and this person, this man or woman. You seem to be playing a bit of a game with each other, and to see who comes out on top. And whoever comes out on top will think that they're going to stay on top. But that is not necessarily the case. So the two of you may be quite enjoying a bit of a battle. You may not all be enjoying it. Some of you may be hating it. But whatever you do, don't argue unnecessarily. That's one of the messages here. There are signs of a major celebration coming up soon. And that could be a party, a wedding, a birthday, an anniversary, someone having a baby or christening. And remember, if you want a reading with me on the phone from anywhere in the world, go to my website, davidcharlespsychic.com, and you can book me on there. And if I'm not free, one of the team that work for me will help you, and they are the best. I only employ the best, and if they're not the best, they don't get in my team. So, davidcharlespsychic.com. And thank you to all my subscribers, by the way. I do appreciate you subscribing. If you'd like to subscribe, if you haven't already, please do so below. Click the bell icon and all that stuff, and you'll get notified every time I upload new videos. And please share me with your friends, but we haven't finished yet. So you're going to get what you deserve. There are messages here, number one, that the spirit world are about to give you something very, very special. I don't know what it is because there's a lot of you out there, and it won't apply to all of you, but a lot of you are about to receive something that you've wanted for many years, like a secret dream or a secret wish. Or it may not be secret, something you always wanted. And I think there will be celebrations for all of you. And I think this person, what is he thinking about you now? He's thinking that you're being stroppy, some of you, and you're thinking that he's being stroppy, and you're having daft arguments that really you don't need to have. And it doesn't matter, they're not serious, I don't think. There's no messages here that you're ending it between each other, although you can if you want to. But I think you're going to go on as you are. Some of you may already be married, of course. These are not all flirty things for teenagers. Some of you may have been married a long time. Some of you may be thinking about getting married, and that could be what the celebration is. And the outcome, if you look at the reading in general, it's very, very positive. But let me ask you the 4 questions for you in a minute. Before I do that, I'm going to look at some oracle cards to see if they back up what I've been telling you. And we'll do 4 of these. They've all been shuffled, so I don't know what's coming up. First one's an earth card. Somebody looking at a crystal, you see that? You say in focus there. And it says to you, visualization will help you to heal. see your body bathed in a glow. So if you can lay on the couch and imagine your body being bathed by the sun or a glow or an aura, then that kind of thing will help you heal. And that doesn't mean that you're not well. It means heal the way you feel, and your moods and your calmness and your peacefulness will prevail. And it can mean some of you are psychic as well. Second one's an earth card. This is one of my favourites. I always think of the Rocky Mountains in British Columbia, where I had the pleasure of going once. Excuse the noise. If you hear the noise, it's the wind blowing off the Atlantic here in beautiful North Devon. It's wonderful to watch the trees rocking about, and they're just coming into leaf and they're beautiful colours. So we're right by the Atlantic, not far away anyway. So this one says to you, your struggles will end when you start trying to be happy instead of being right. So it may be backing up what I've said, that you are trying to be right, and so is he or she. And there's no way I could have known that card was there, but it says again, your struggles will end when you start trying to be happy instead of trying to be right. So I'm not telling you off, that's what the oracle cards are saying. So cool it, rein it in, as they say. Somebody I know says that. Next card is a fire card. And this one is that someone set fire to a rose there, very naughty. I'm sure it's for artistic purposes. See the light within yourself and everyone else too. So see the light within yourself and everyone else too. So see the good things in people, the light, not the darkness. Good for you. One more, then we do your 4 questions. A fire card. Looks like some sparks from a barbecue or something there. This one says you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings, number 1. So, you're experiencing enormous change, which brings great blessing. Now I'm going to ask you 4 questions, ask 4 questions for you. They may not be relevant to you. If not, pick another stack. There's 4 in each stack. The first question for you, your number 1 question is, will I have children or more children? Well, the answer to the question here is that there is a celebration in the reading, as I mentioned before. And it seems you may be waiting. I think some of you, I said, of course, not all of you, may be trying to get pregnant and waiting and thinking it's taking a lot longer than you'd like it to. If that's the case, then I believe, because the spirit world are going to give you something you always wanted. So if that question is relevant to you, number 1, the answer, I think, is yes. You will have children or more children. I can't tell you how many, because it's not here, and I'm not going to make up things that are not here. But the answer, I believe, to that question is yes. Will I have children or more children? Let's take a look at your second question. Your second question is, will he or she call me soon? Will he or she call me soon? Now, the answer to that question is a bit iffy because, as I said earlier, I think you're both being a bit stubborn. And I think one of you is going to have to stop playing the game, otherwise this could get out of hand and it could cause you to drift away, and you don't want to be drifting apart. So if this person doesn't call you soon, then you're going to need to call him or her. Don't be stubborn. That's what I'm picking up. But I think if you wait a while longer, he or she will call you, but just don't leave it too long. Let's take a look at your third question. Your third question is there interference from outsiders? Is there interference from outsiders? How often that happens? I don't think that's the case here. I do think there's some bitchiness. But I could be wrong, because there is some bitchiness. There is a bit of backstabbing going on, so yes, there may be interference from outsiders. And if that's the case, I don't think they're going to get anywhere with that. Sometimes family can disapprove and all that kind of thing. They might disapprove of your lover, he or she. So there may be some interference from outsiders, but I feel the backstabbing in this reading is more directed at you. It could be somebody at work. It may not be to do with this person at all, but it's in the reading, okay? Let's take a look at your fourth question. Well, coincidentally, your fourth question is, will my family accept him or her? Will my family accept him or her? I believe that the bickering and quarrels and all that stuff may be involving the family putting their, nosiness in. You're not sleeping well, so that could be to do with it. But the outcome of the reading, whatever, if that's the case or not, the outcome of the reading, number one, is positive. So I believe that even if that is happening, and it well could be, they will accept him in the end. So the question is, will my family ever accept him? And I think the answer is yes, they will. Begrudgingly maybe, but they will. And he or she will become, if they want to, become a part of the family. Now don't go away, I've got your lucky numbers for you. You may want to get a pen. I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers that could change your life forever, for the lotteries and casinos and all that. As I keep repeating, if you gamble with these numbers, you must do it safely. And if you're a child, you shouldn't be watching this. So this is not for children. Go to bed. So let's give you your lucky numbers. You may recognize these, by the way. They could be wedding dates, birthdays, house numbers you've lived at, car number plates, things that may seem familiar. They may not, but they may do. But you don't need all 6, you can just use a couple of them, but you can use all 6 if you want to. Your lucky numbers, number 1, are 16, 17, 21, 29, 33, and 41. Do they ring any bells? Maybe wedding days, maybe divorce days? I'll give them you again. 16, 17, 29, 33, and 41. Let me know if you hit the jackpot. Put it down there. Please comment down there anyway. I'd like to hear all your comments. Share me with your friends, please. Give me a like if you like it. Don't give me a like if you don't, because I'm only the messenger. Don't give me a don't like. Give me a like. Click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I upload a video. You've got to subscribe, of course, first. Don't forget to subscribe. And please share me with all your friends on social media. And it's been so lovely reading for you, number 1, here in beautiful North Devon. If you comment below, I'll answer that. If you want me for a private psychic reading on the telephone, go to davidcharlespsychic.com. And if I'm too busy, you'll get one of my team, and I only employ the best. That's davidcharlespsychic.com. I'll put the link below for you, where you're going to hopefully comment. Thank you so much for visiting me here in beautiful North Devon, in the wind. It's going to get dark soon. And remember, number 1, think lucky, and you'll be lucky. Think love, and you'll be loved. And I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hello again. Thank you for staying with me. If you chose number 2, this one is just for you. So let's have a look. This is a pick a card reading, as you know, and it's a timeless reading, which means you'll find this reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. It could be today, it could be 10 years from today. It makes no difference. You'll find this reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. Now you chose number 2. You have chosen number 2 from well over 500 cards on this table. So, number 2, there will be a message in here for you somewhere. There could be a few, actually. I'll tell you the negatives first. Don't forget, at the end there will be 6 lucky numbers for you that could help you to change your life forever. And I mean forever. If you're going to gamble with them, you must do it responsibly. There will also be 4 questions, specific, frequently asked questions, just for this reading. If they're not appropriate, choose another stack. But I'll tell you what they are. Will I ever meet my true soulmate? Is one of them. Will we move into a house together? Is 2 of them. Will he or she ever change for the better? Should I just move on? They're the 4 questions I'm going to be trying to sort out for you at the end of this, near the end of this, and then your lucky numbers. So stay with me till the end. That's when the good stuff comes, because not only that, I'm going to tell you all the negatives first. So this is all the bad things, then we do the really nice things. And the bad things are that your stress levels are high, The good thing there is that your stress levels are going to go down, so that's not quite so bad. There is deceit around you, some of you. Remember, this won't apply to all of you. Take in what does and ignore what doesn't, or choose a different stack. You can have 2 or 3 if you want. However, the negatives are very few. There are signs, number 2, that you may not be looking after yourself, that you're doing something you shouldn't be, maybe drinking or smoking or taking a bit of pot or something. Is that harmful? I think they tell me it is. Anyway, the mood is here, the message from the spirit world is that you're doing things you shouldn't be, you're not looking after yourself, maybe you're not eating well, maybe you're smoking or drinking, as I said, or you're overworking, but you've got to start taking it easy, and that's important. When the messages from spirit say that, you need to listen. Your stress levels will go down, and I think you've got children or a child, they will help that along. So maybe you're seeing more of your kids, maybe there's school holidays or something coming, because this could be 5 years from now, of course. So I can't see many negatives, but the question of the reading is, what is he or she thinking about you now? I do this reading every 3 or 4 weeks because it's so popular. What is he thinking about me now? I think there's trickery in the reading from a man. If you're looking at a woman, it will be from a woman, so it could be him or her. There's deceit, there's trickery, but I'm hoping it's not them. I'm hoping it's maybe some car salesman or something like that. But there is trickery predicted around you. Somebody could try to deceive you or steal from you or borrow money from you, so be very cautious of that. Keep your doors locked. Don't lend people your record collection or anything, you'll lose it. I don't see anything major wrong here as long as you start taking it easy. So what is he or she thinking about you now? I think, you're going to love me for this, but I think he or she wants a baby or another baby, and I think that's what's on their mind. It could be that they know that you want a baby and they're thinking about that, but there's things in this reading pointing to possible trying for children or pregnancy, and I can tell you now, number 2, this reading does indicate a pregnancy soon. So if it's not you or your partner, it's got to be very close. It could be a sister or something. There's definitely a pregnancy, and there may be somebody already pregnant now carrying a baby, which comes up in lots of readings, and it will do because lots of people are pregnant. But at the moment, I don't think you're seeing things clearly. That's one of the negatives. I think you're not seeing the wood for the trees. I think the answers to any problems you have, number 2, are right under your nose, and you're not getting it. We'll look at the oracle cards in a bit and see if they agree, and I'm sure they will. There's a lady here in the reading that's older than you, like a mother figure or a grandma, that she may be someone you talk to, could be a mother-in-law or your future mother-in-law or an auntie or an old lady at work. It's not old, but older, mature. And she's someone you can talk to, but she won't mess around. If you're going to ask for advice, you're going to get the truth, so be ready. If you don't like hearing the truth, don't ask this lady. It could be a man, but I think if you're a lady yourself, it will be a lady. Anything to do with children is good. There is a possible pregnancy. Well, it's not a possible, it's almost certainly a pregnancy, and there could be 2. There could be 2 pregnancies. I'm sticking my neck out here, number 2. This can mean the birth of twins. Can mean. It could be that, or it could be 2 separate pregnancies, and that's around you. Please let me know below, because I'm very interested to find out. And I'd like to say thank you to all my subscribers while I'm on the subject. And if you'd like to subscribe, please do so. We're trying to get as many as we can, because you can join our lovely family all over the world, and click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I upload new videos, which is usually once a week or more if I can. But if you can hear the wind, that's the wind coming off the Atlantic Ocean just down the road, and the trees are rocking, and it's wonderful to see, as long as it doesn't get too bad. So you can probably hear the wind from the Atlantic Ocean, as we're in beautiful North Devon in England. So subscribe if you'd like to. If you want a full reading with me on the phone, from anywhere in the world, go to my website, davidcharlespsychic.com, and you can book me there. If you can't get hold of me, if I'm busy doing filming, then one of my team that work for me will help you and they are the elite. I only employ the best, and if they're not the best, they don't get in my team. So, pregnancy, advice from an older person. This man or lady, I think, is considering children or asking you if you'd like children, or he may be considering the fact that you want children and he's lulling it over. So there's something about that going on. That's what I think he's thinking. That's why I do the reading so often, because what is he thinking about me now changes all the time. And of course there are thousands of people to watch these readings. So some of it will resonate with you, some of it may not. Let me tell you the positives. I think everything you want, number 2, is facing you in the future months. You just need to sort of reach out and grasp it. I think you've got things here more than you realise, and the world is your oyster, I always say. You can dip in and have a basin full of any way you want. You've just got to be assertive. Is that the right word? You've got to have your wits about you, and things can really improve and take off for you. Your stress levels have been very high. I think they're going down. I think you're highly fertile, and that doesn't only mean children. High fertility, as I often say in these readings, means things are growing, things are taking off. If you're opening a new business, fantastic. If you're starting a new job, wonderful. If you're starting a new romance, unbelievable. It's a good time for all of that sort of thing. But do not be cheated or tricked or deceived. That's what I'm worried about here. That's the only real thing. Well, apart from the fact that you're not taking care of yourself, some of you. So don't do that anymore. It's very naughty. Get to bed early, eat nice food, plenty of greens and fruit and vegetables. Am I hearing this right? Because I don't do any of that, but no. Seriously, you've got to look after yourself and take it easy. That's what this psychic reading's saying from your spirit guides. There's travel in this reading, number 2. You could be going somewhere overseas. And I think that everything you touch at the moment is growing. Some of you are buying a pet, it could be a dog or a cat. Have you been considering that? Or you may be, hopefully, rescuing one rather than buying one. There's thousands of them looking for homes. So if you're thinking of that, even that's a good thing. I think a lot of you, number 2, are animal lovers anyway. And a lot of you already have pets. Now, some of you, not all of you, but some of you are into witchcraft. I can see this here. Or toying with the idea of getting into spiritual things. So that could be the growth and the new beginnings I'm picking up as well. Always a nice thing to do, but don't get involved in black magic, please. Or anything like that. But I think if you're interested in psychic stuff, then it's a good time for you to take it up and learn it, or enhance the psychic ability that you already have. Let's take a look at your 4 questions, and then we'll do the oracle cards. These 4 questions may not be relevant. If not, choose a different deck, because there's 4 in each one. Don't go away without your lucky numbers. There will be 6 lucky numbers that could change your life forever, and I mean forever. And if you win the jackpot, put it down there. I promise I won't tell anybody. I'll keep it secret. Okay. Your 4 questions. First question is, will I ever meet my true soulmate? Well, I've got to say, number 2, that most of you probably won't meet your soulmate, because I always believe they're quite rare. But I think the person we're looking at here, if it's a romantic thing, is pretty close to that. I think you may already be married to them. You may have been with each other for a long time. So you may never meet your soulmate. As I said there, I think they're rare. But you will certainly find happiness. And it's obvious that you've been hurt in the past. And I think you've been cheated and deceived in the past. And that's why I'm concerned with it now. But this thing can turn out to be a really good thing if we're looking at a romance. If not, then will you ever meet your true soulmate? Probably not your soulmate. As I always say, I did in the last reading, your soulmate can be your brother or your sister. It's not always your lover. But that doesn't mean you won't fall in love, and true love will prevail. You just have to see what's in front of you. As I said earlier, a lot of the things you're looking for are right under your nose. And you may find the oracle cards agree with that. We'll find out in a minute. Your second question, number 2, is, will we move into a home together? Well, some of you are already in one, I can see that. There's not definite signs of movement yet, but if you are trying to conceive and you're not living together now, then the chances are that you will, but it's not a definite. And I'm not going to tell you stuff that's not here. So that doesn't mean you can't, it just means that you may need to make it happen rather than the Spirit saying it's preordained. Hope you're with me. So if you want to move in together with this man or lady, you may have to make the effort. Watch out that you don't get cheated by an estate agent. I keep picking up this cheating and deceit. Or a solicitor or does the searches on your property. Just watch out. But will you move in together? No, not unless you make it happen. And if you're going to make it happen, this is the time, because as I said, you're highly fertile and everything you touch now will grow. So don't delay, if possible. I know it's not easy buying property, but you may be renting or something. So I shouldn't be flippant, but it can be done if you really put your mind to it. Let's take a look at your third question. Your third question is, will he or she ever change for the better? Will he or she ever change for the better? Well, I don't think really, for most of you, this person's bad anyway. But I do believe that they're maturing all the time, and they will change a bit. But I always say again in these readings, people don't really change. They may change for a while, but if they've got bad things about them, they don't change. They just don't change. They may put it on for a while, but I know it's a cliche that people don't change, and you hear it all the time, but it turns out that most times it's true. This person, if it's the cheat and deceitful one we're looking at, and I hope it isn't, then the answer is no, they won't change. If it's someone else, I think it is someone nice, then I don't really think they need to change much. Maybe you have to change your perception of them and put up with some of their moods or their idiosyncrasies. Maybe you need to just be a bit more accepting that they're not going to change, so put up with it. Or walk away from it. You're not walking away from it. There's nothing in this reading to say an ending at all. And if there was, I'd tell you. So let's take a look at your fourth question. Well, your fourth question is, should I just move on? And you know the answer is no before I start, because the reading is too good. So that question's probably not applying to you. If it is, then I believe the answer is no. You shouldn't just move on. I think you've done that in the past and you may regret it, or have regretted it and look back and think, what if I tried a bit harder with that chap or that lady? So I don't think you should move on. I think you should take care of yourself, rest properly, get the nice food, nice things to eat. Don't overdo it. Don't get cheated, and your stress levels will go down. Let's take a look at 4 oracle cards, and don't go away without your lucky numbers, number 2. They really could be important. So 4 oracle cards, they've all been shuffled. So the first one's a fire card. See if it backs up what I've told you. Well, there's a lot of candles there, look, a fire card, if you can see that. This one is saying to you, you've come into your own, continue to move forward. So you're getting more confidence, you're coming into your own, you're being a bit assertive. It's time for you to be enjoying a bit of self-confidence now. Things are changing for the better. And I don't do readings just to tell you that. If they're bad, I'll tell you. But things seem to be changing for the better. So give it a like if you like it, okay? As I said, if you want a reading with me, it's davidcharlespsychic.com. And if you can't get me, one of the team that work for me will help you from anywhere in the world. And it's davidcharlespsychic.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's take a look at your second oracle card. A fire card again. In fact, the next one is as well. All 4 of them are. Courage and creativity is rewarded with abundant resources. And that's a beautiful picture of a tree. It looks like sunset or sun up. Courage and creativity is rewarded with abundant resources. So be brave, take a chance, don't walk away. As I said, be brave, give it a go, and if you're trying to move in together, try to do that, make it happen if you can. and you may find that he's thinking about babies and families. He may not be thinking he likes it, but that's on his mind. What is he thinking about me now? Third oracle card, another fire card. It's on the edge of a cliff, looking down at the sea, having a barbecue, I think. How romantic. I can't read this. You're connected to Source. The light that shines through you leads the way. So that's telling me you're a bit psychic. And at the moment you're connected to the spirit world. So go with your intuition. Trust your inner vision, as the song says. Bucks Fizz, I think. Trust your intuition, go with what feels right, and you'll be okay. You'll be rewarded. Let's read it again. You're connected to Source. The light that shines through you will light the way. So the light that shines through you, number 2, will light the way for others as well. Your fourth oracle card, another fire card. They have been shuffled. This is the moon. Looks like a full moon in a beautiful sky. This one says, pay attention to your ideas as they are messages from the divine. So you're getting messages from Spirit. They're giving you ideas. Things may just pop into your head. New ventures, new jobs, new hobbies. Pay attention to your ideas. They're messages from the divine, from the spirit world, from your spirits. Let me give you now your 4 lucky numbers, and these are lucky numbers chosen by me with my spirit guides just before we started filming this afternoon. Here in beautiful North Devon in England. If you haven't been here to visit, give it a go, it's beautiful. And as I said, you may hear the sea because it's windy. Your first lucky number, I should say these numbers may be familiar. They could be addresses you've lived at, car number plates, birthdays, wedding days, divorce days. Let's see if they ring any bells. Your first number is number 4, 14, 28, 38, 42 and 47. Do they ring any bells, number 2? Are they familiar? Write them down. You can always stop the video and do it again. And if you're going to gamble, do it responsibly. You may need a couple of them, not all 6 of them. You may want all 6 for lotteries, casinos, all that sort of thing. I'll give them you again. Number 4, 14, 28, 38, 42 and 47. If those numbers make you win the jackpot, put it down there. Please comment down there because it's so interesting. I'll try to answer all my comments, and click the like button for me. Share me with your friends. Please share me with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload new videos. Usually once a week, if I can more sometimes. Remember, it's been lovely speaking to you and a pleasure talking to you. Wherever you may be in this beautiful world, remember, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you will be loved. And I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hello, thank you for staying with me. If you chose number 3, this one's for you. I'm going to put them out now for you. And this is, of course, a timeless reading, which means you can find it today, tomorrow, next week, or 10 years from now. Makes no difference at all. You'll find this reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. And if you found it today and you chose number 3, there are well over 500, nearly 600 cards on this table. You've chosen these number 3, so there will be a message in here for you somewhere, maybe more than one. It won't all resonate with you, so take in what does and ignore what doesn't. Let's tell you the bad stuff first. Towards the end of the reading, I'm going to give you 4 questions, and I'll try to answer 4 questions for you that people frequently ask. I'll tell you what they are. Does he or she really love me? Is he or she the man or woman of my dreams? Will our love grow for each other, grow stronger, or just fade away? Is he or she trustworthy? I'm going to answer those at the end, and at the end I'm going to give you 6 Lucky numbers chosen by me with my spirit guides just before we started filming this afternoon. 6 lucky numbers that could change your life forever. And you could hit the jackpot. As I always say, if you're going to gamble with my lucky numbers, you must do it responsibly, okay? Don't go away without your 4 questions and your lucky numbers at the end, because the lucky numbers could change your life dramatically for the better forever. And if you win the jackpot, stick it down there in the comments, please. So let's tell you the bad stuff, the negatives first. Let's get all that out of the way, and then we'll come to some positives at the end. And your first negative is negativity itself. The spirit guides are telling me that you're mixing, number 3, with negative people, maybe at work, maybe the family are being a bit negative, maybe you yourself are becoming negative and you've got to remove it. This means if you can, remove yourself from negative people, they will bring you down. It comes up in lots of readings and it's in yours today, and it can mean that you have to remove negativity such as smoking habits or drinking too much, not eating properly, that sort of thing. So anything negative you need to get rid of if you can. You can't always avoid negative people, you may work with them, but try not to let them and their negativity bring you down if possible. There's not many negatives in your reading as the word goes. There is some secrecy around you, so somebody could be keeping secrets. Now remember, the title of this reading is What is he thinking about me now? I do this about once a month, the same title, because the people change, the audience changes obviously, and what people think about you is changing constantly. So the question is, what is he thinking about me now? And the answer to the question is, I believe that somebody, he or she, could be a lady, is being quite secretive, and they may be keeping secrets from you, and that may be what they're thinking about. Now, of course, being secretive is not always bad. They may be being secretive to protect you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. At the same time, they may be hiding something that they don't want you to know that you should know. So be aware of that. As I keep repeating, it won't apply to all of you, but secrecy is the main theme of this reading. So negativity, remove. Get rid of negative habits if you can, and then allow positives to come in. The more negatives you remove, the more positives will come in. So for every negative you remove, you'll get 10 positives coming into your world. There is a man or lady in the reading who is flirtatious. If it's a man, he likes the women, and you can't trust him with the women. If it's a lady we're looking at, she can be pretty much the same the other way around. She may be someone that you can't trust to be loyal and faithful to you. So bear that in mind. It won't apply to all of you. Don't switch off because you think it's you. Please watch to the end because you need your lucky numbers. But some of you have a romance or a liaison predicted, it may not be yet, with somebody who is flirty, naughty, and probably not trustworthy with the opposite sex, or the same sex if that's what you're looking at. So let me think about the negatives. I can't see any other negatives. The reading does indicate an ending. You may have noticed that if you know about tarot cards. It means you're coming to the end of an era. An ending in a reading, I always say, can be quite sad because it's the end of an era. It could be the end of a job, it could be the end of a romance, it could be the end of a problem. You may be packing up smoking. So it's not always a bad thing. An ending heralds always a brand new beginning. So it's like you're reading a book with 100 chapters in, one for every year of your life, whatever that length may be. And you're coming to the end of a chapter now, and it's quite sad. Before you put the lights out in bed, you're coming to the end of this chapter in your new book, in this book. And tomorrow, you're going to start a new chapter. That's what it's like, and it's a chapter of your life. So you're coming to the end of an era now, number 3, and a new chapter is about to open, and this is very exciting. As I said, it can be sad, letting go of the past, letting go of old jobs, old boyfriends, old girlfriends. You may be ending a romance and starting a brand new one. But things are exciting, as well as sometimes quite sad. You're guided at the moment by a lady in spirit. Now, if you're watching this, the chances are this lady in spirit is with you right now. No matter where you are, you could be at work, you could be walking in the park, You could be lying on the beach somewhere. There's a lady in spirit with you now, most of you. Number 3. Do you know who she is? If you're a chap, this could be a male spirit guide, but I think for most of you it's a lady. And she's guiding you, she's watching you, she's looking after you, and she probably got you to watch this reading, so don't forget to subscribe, because she wants you to watch me, of course. And if you want a proper reading with me from anywhere in the world, on the telephone, go to my website, davidcharlespsychic.com, and if you can't get me, if I'm busy, one of the team that work for me will help you, and I only employ the best, the elite. If they're not the best, they don't get in my team. That's davidcharlespsychic.com. But at the moment, I think you have a spirit guide with you at this very second. You can talk to her. I think most of it's a lady. I don't think that she wants to hide from you. I think she's guiding you. She's watching out for you, so she's there. And she'll be there quite a lot of the time. Your spirit guides are always around, but never all at once. So, flirtatiousness, new beginnings. In fact, really, the reading indicates new beginnings in 3 separate areas. One is removing negatives, that's a new beginning. The second could be a new romance or the end of an era. And the third could be a pregnancy. And they do come up a lot. And people say, oh, they're always coming up, but they do, because people get pregnant a lot. Especially at the moment, because at the moment we've had the lockdown and people are stuck with each other all day. So I think there'll be a baby boom. Anyway, there's a pregnancy in the reading. There could be a birth. So you may have already just had a baby, number 3. Or your partner may have done. Or you're about to get pregnant. But there's new beginnings. Some of you are beginning new studies, learning new things, maybe night school, maybe going to university. Make sure you're old enough to watch this. And new beginnings are here. I think some of you are quite spiritual, and I think that's why your spirit guides are highly active, because they know that you're tuned into the spirit world, and you could be into this kind of thing, the spiritual psychic stuff as well, mediumship. If you've got all that in your gift collection, then you'll also have healing ability, because psychic ability and healing ability usually, well, always go together. The positives indicate new beginnings and some money coming your way. So it could be the lucky numbers I'm going to give you. So there's money coming your way, and it could be a share of money, which would indicate a win or a legacy. You don't want, obviously, a bereavement, but that's not the case anyway. So you're learning something new. You may want to study something. The person we're looking at, what is he thinking about me now? Could be someone in study or information IT or teaching or something similar. Could be, not always. Watch out for secrecy. Expect some money. Get rid of negatives, okay? You must get rid of negatives if you can. And new beginnings will come and things will shine for you. Let's ask for you, the 4 questions. Your question number 1 is, your first question is, does he or she really love me? This reading is not filled with lovey-dovey messages, but as I often say, the spirit world will tend to tell you things you don't already know. So if you already know, you may already be married. You may be with each other for years. But it's not a Romeo and Juliet sort of reading. As I always say, they got killed anyway. So if you were going to read that book, that's ruining that. But sorry about that. But you don't look like riding off into the sunset on a white horse. However, I think some of you are used to each other. And if you're not, then you will be. There's nothing wrong with this reading romantically. It's just not a lovey-dovey reading. And I'm not going to tell you it is when it isn't. So you may already know about that. You may not need to be told about your love life, because you're aware of how it's going anyway. So does he or she really love me? I believe that the honours are even. I think with most readings, probably 9 out of 10 readings, one person will love more than the other one does. There'll always be somebody, you may love him more than he loves you and you're not getting it back. Or he may love you and you're not interested in him. This one, pardon me, I think is on an even keel. I think you're about balanced right. So, you're like I think a lot of you are like an old pair of slippers that you got comfortable with. And you got comfortable with each other. Let me know in the comments below if that's right. If not, pick another deck. There's 4 to choose from. You can have as many as you want. And they've all got lucky numbers at the end. So let's take a look at your second question. Your second question is, will our love grow stronger or just fade away? Will our love grow stronger or just fade away? Well, as I've hinted at already, it may be that one of you loves more than the other one. And I think once you sort this sort of thing out, the answer is yes. If you want it to, you can grow this. Even if you've been together for many years, I believe your love can grow stronger, but you may have to put some work into it. It's easy for me to say that, but it appears that there may be a little bit of an imbalance in the love stakes. But the answer to that question really is yes, your love will grow stronger as long as you sort out any little problems that you may have. Question number 3. Your third question is he the man or woman of my dreams? Well, as I said earlier, I think you've got used to each other. If you're fairly new to each other, as in, because you can't all be the same, then I think the romance is looking good, but I don't necessarily think that it's the person of your dreams, because it depends what kind of dreams you have. But unfortunately, I don't think the answer to that is really yes, but not many people find that anyway, so don't get too down on that. The person may not be the man or woman of your dreams, but there's nothing here to say there's anything really drastically wrong. So I wouldn't read too much into that if I were you. Let's take a look at your fourth and last question. Your fourth question is he or she trustworthy? Well, the answer to that is yes. I don't think there's anything really to worry about on that regard. I think the person is trustworthy, and really you don't meet many lovers that you can trust completely in your life, or any workmen that come knocking on the door fixing the drains or the piping. But there's usually something about some people, but this one, I think the answer is yes, you can trust this person. I think that they may make the odd mistake, but generally speaking, I think that this person is trustworthy. So those 4 questions were quite easy to answer because most of it is in the main reading anyway. I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers now that could change your life forever. And if you win the jackpot, put it down there because I'd like to know, and I promise I'll keep it secret. I won't tell a soul. But if you use these numbers for gambling, you must do it responsibly. You've got your pen ready. These numbers could change your life forever. And there's new numbers in every reading I do. Your first number is number 8, 17, 18, 27, 31 and 40. Do they ring any bells? They could be wedding days, birthdays, car number plates, house numbers, check numbers at work, divorce dates, birthdays. Do they ring any bells? Doesn't matter if they don't. They could be important. I'll give you one more time. 8, 17, 18, 27, 31 and 40. These numbers could change your life for the better, believe me. So, thank you for being with me here in beautiful North Devon. Please subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon, give us a like, click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I bring a new video out, which is about once a week. Please share me with your friends on social media, tell them that this is the real deal and give us a like. And comment below. I answer all my comments if I can, if I get time. What else can I tell you? Thank you so much for coming to North Devon. You can hear the sea coming off the Atlantic, and the trees are blowing. They're coming into lovely colour now. Springtime when I film this. May not be when you watch it. Remember, number 3, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you'll be loved. And I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hello again. If you chose number 4, this one's for you. A timeless reading, which means you can find it today next week, next year, or 10 years from now, it makes no difference. You'll find this reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. And you have chosen number 4, these cards, from well over 500 cards here. If you count the oracle cards, there's nearly 600, in fact over 600. So, there will be a message in here for you somewhere. There may be several. Take in what resonates for you, ignore what doesn't. During this reading, near the end, I'm going to ask 4 questions of the spirit world, just for you, frequently asked. One is, I'll tell you what the 4 questions are. Is he or she my true soulmate? Is he or she two-timing me? Will we be together forever? Will I be married or stay married? I'll ask those 4 questions at the end and try to answer them for you. Stick with me till the end. Near the end, we're going to have for you, I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers. Lucky numbers chosen by me with my spirit guides just before we started recording this afternoon here in beautiful North Devon, and where you may hear the wind blowing in off the Atlantic Ocean and the trees are rocking out there. It's wonderful, as long as it doesn't get too bad, of course. So stick with me, timeless reading, pick a card reading. I'll tell you the negatives first, then we look at the oracle cards, then the questions, or the other way around, and then your lucky numbers. Don't miss the lucky numbers. They could make you, well, they could change your life forever. If you're going to gamble with my lucky numbers, please do it responsibly. If you win the jackpot, stick it down there in the comments. I'd love to know, and I promise I won't tell a soul. So let's tell you the negatives first. This reading number 4, for some of you, not all of you, indicates some kind of loss. Now the question is, for this reading, the title is, what is he thinking about me now? I know I do this reading a lot, once a month usually, because people want this reading, because people's ideas change. So what is he thinking now may not be what he was thinking last week. So the question is, what is he thinking about me now, or what is she thinking about me now? And the reading indicates a loss, so it can sometimes mean that you're losing each other. And I hope that's not the case. I'm glad you're watching this because you can prevent it from happening. But it can also mean you're losing your wallet, your purse, your handbag, your credit cards, your mobile phone. And it can mean you're losing each other, so be careful. Sometimes it can be bad things like losing your job. So be careful of that as well. Most losses in readings are avoidable, so keep your doors locked. Don't gamble on the horses, use my lucky numbers maybe, and don't lend people money, you'll lose it. Don't lend them your car or your CDs either. You seem to me, number 4, to be looking for things, you're searching. You're looking and maybe looking in the mirror in the mornings and thinking, is that it? Is that all there is? Feels like something's missing. And usually, when something is missing in a reading, it's love that's missing. And this reading, as you may know if you know about tarot cards, and it's not all tarot cards, but this reading indicates that you're heading for some kind of decision time in your romantic life. It could be with this person we're looking at, he or she. It could be with something else, somebody else. There could be some things going on. There could be a new lover coming for you, number 4, and there could be 2 lovers coming your way. You may have to choose one. It can mean that you're seeing 2 people at once. Some of you may be married and seeing somebody else because your marriage is not too happy. Some of you may be seeing somebody who's married. You may be seeing 2 people at once and you've got to choose one. And you will have to choose one. You can't stick with both. That's the message from most psychic readings. It may be that you think you're in love when you're not really. It's just lust or loneliness, and you feel like you're in love. So you've got to sort out your feelings. And this will come along to you now. During the next few weeks, I think 12 to 14 weeks at the most, you will reach some kind of decision-making point in your love life. Now there could be also, on a separate issue, some confusion at work. This can mean that people are getting the wrong idea at work. You may be getting the wrong orders, the wrong person telling you what to do, the wrong boss, confusion, the wrong phone numbers or emails. Expect bickering or confusion around your workplace. Even if you're working from home, it can still happen. But I think, number 4, you've had it pretty much bad recently. I don't think a lot of you, not all of you, but I think a lot of you, I don't think you've had a good life. I think you've had a lot of bad times. And I think you've you've put up with a lot of stuff and made lots of sacrifices. And that means today the reason you're watching this is because I think karma is coming and you're about to get, number 4, exactly what you deserve. And I think it's about time you got a break. You're going to get a break and you're going to get some good stuff. So that's good. All the rubbish you put up with in the past is paying you back. There is a slight hiccup here because I'm picking up legal stuff, and that can mean solicitors, police, but it usually means legal paperwork, documents you're signing, and it will also mean karma. Legal stuff in a reading means law. The law of karma is coming your way, and you will get what you deserve. There's nothing in this reading to be fearful of. Nothing. The question, the title of the reading is, what is he thinking about me? I think he's trying to consider his options, because for a lot of you, as I said, there may be 2 people or 3 people involved in the same romance. It could be you seeing a man who's unfaithful. It could be you seeing 2 men at once, or 2 ladies at once. But it can also mean that you're seeing somebody and there's interference from the children or the family, or his grown-up children or her grown-up children. There seems to be somebody stirring things up in this reading, in your relationship with the person we're looking at, with the question, what is he thinking about now, about me? I think he's trying to consider his options, whether he should go ahead with this, whether he should take all the unnecessary suffering that could come with it if it means divorces. As I said, that won't apply to all of you, but if it's going to bring turbulence to this he or she, they may be considering their options, whether they should walk away or not. And as I said, this reading does indicate a loss. So some of you, not all of you, but some of you I think may be packing it in and splitting up. But let's hope it's not you. I think it's just if you want a proper reading with me, go to my website, David Charles Psychic. You can get me from anywhere in the world on the phone. You can book me on my website. If I'm not free, one of the team that work for me will help you, and I only employ the best. My team are the elite. If they don't get through my checking system, they don't get to work for me. So that's David Charles Psychic. And you can book me anywhere in the world at any time, well, most times. So expect some confusion around your career. If you're not working, then it's confusion around your earthly life, the way you earn your living or the way your money comes in. It could be that people give it you. It could be your mum and dad if you're not very old. If you're not very old, you shouldn't be watching this, by the way. It's not for children. Go to bed. Anyway, I'm just joking, but it isn't for children, this reading. So there's questions about your love life. You've got to make some decisions. I think if the man I'm picking up here, if it's a man or woman, whatever it is, I think they're a solid person. That's the good news. I think they're predictable. I think you know what they're going to do. You almost know what they're going to say before they say it. I think you can read them like a book, but if they say they'll be there for you, then they will be. I just think that some of you may find them a bit boring. We'll see. So there are questions, number 4, there are question marks in the reading. The biggest worry I've got here is a loss, so keep your things safe and don't lose your heart to somebody who you can't really depend on to be there all the time, just for you and nobody else, okay? Because there are triangles in this reading for lots of you. Let's take a look at those 4 questions. They may not apply to you. If not, pick one of the other 3 stacks. You can have as many as you want because there's lucky numbers in all of them, okay? So where's my, here they are. Can't read these. These are your questions I'm going to ask for you now. And your first question is he or she my true soulmate? And I don't think that they are. But as I keep saying tonight, or today, this afternoon, soulmates, in my opinion, are quite rare. Your soulmate can be your brother or sister, but I don't think this is your soulmate. That doesn't mean you can't love each other. It does not mean you should split up at all. Very few people are with their soulmates. They all think they are. Very few people are. You can still be lovers till the day you die. As long as you sort out these complications, number 4, then you're perfectly okay with each other. And I wouldn't say that lightly. But you don't want to be in a triangle, okay? And I'm not lecturing you, I just want you to be happy. Let's take a look at your second question. Your second question is, coincidentally, because I didn't know this, but your second question is he or she two-timing me? Well, we've already discussed that some of you are in a triangle, okay? Now, if this person is two-timing you, it's nothing that you didn't know anyway. As I mentioned, they could be married, or they could be already taken. And if you didn't know, then you need to find out what's going on, because if you call it two-timing you, then yes, they may be. But I think you already know. If there's another lady around or another chap around, I think you already know. If not, then check it out, because I'm picking up a triangle here. So the answer to that question could be yes, but the answer is also I think you already know. Let's take a look at your third question. Your third question is, will we be together forever? Now, I'm putting it back to you again because of the triangle and the ending and the loss here in this reading. It depends on what you decide to do. I think if you decide to stay together, you could theoretically be together forever. If I had to bet on it, and I don't do betting, but if I did, I'd probably give it 70%. So you probably won't be together forever. But now you've had this reading, you can change that. That's the beauty of having readings. If you don't like something in a reading, you change it. If I said to you, you're going to lose your purse in the supermarket, you'd make sure you didn't. And this reading may say that you may not be together forever. Then you can make sure that you are. But you need to sort out these little complications that we're picking up today, especially if you're in a triangle number 4. You mustn't put up with that. Some of you may have put up with that for a long time already, but it's time to change. Let's check out your fourth question. Your fourth question, these questions are all similar really, but your fourth question is, will we be married, will I be married, or will I stay married? As I said earlier, there is an ending in this reading, so I've got to say that some of you may be ending a marriage. Not all of you. You may be ending a romance, you may be ending your job, you may be giving up smoking, but something is changing. There are changes. Will you be married together, or will you stay married? It's the same answer to the last question really. It depends what you decide to do. If you're already married, you can stay married, but you've got to sort everything out, because there's no unhappiness in this reading number 4. But there's no real happiness either. You're sort of in the middle. I'm not picking up that you're deliriously happy. I'm not picking up extreme sadness. I just think you're in a cautionary moment, and a moment where you need to make some decisions. And the decisions you make now, and I'm looking 12 to 14 weeks ahead, the decisions you make now during the next 12 to 14 weeks will shape your life forever. So will you be married or stay married? I'm ducking out the answer because it's up to you, but you can choose. It's that good. Please let me know in the comments below. This is a complicated reading, so I'd love to hear your response. Give it a like, please subscribe, please share me with your friends all over the world, on Facebook and all that, and click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I upload a new reading. You've got to subscribe as well, of course, for that. And I normally bring one out once a week, more if I can. Now, number 4, I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers that could change your life forever. If you're going to gamble with these numbers, do it responsibly. Don't get us both into trouble, okay? And when you hit the jackpot, put it down there, because I want to know. Please put your comments down there anyway, okay? Your 6 lucky numbers may remind you of things: work numbers, addresses you've lived at, your ex-girlfriend's phone number, your first lover's birthday, wedding days, divorce days. They may not mean anything, but they're important. Here they come. Got your pen? You can always pause the video anyway. Your first number is number 5, 13, 23, 28, 30 and 31. These numbers could change your life forever. I'll give you one more time. Number 5, 13, 23, 28, 30 and 31. Do they mean anything? Do they ring any bells? You don't need all 6. You can put a couple of them on a casino thing or a raffle or something. You can put all 6 on the lottery, but don't mess about. Please be responsible. Don't get yourself into trouble or into a mess, or me either. Thank you for joining me in beautiful North Devon, where the trees are turning green and red and all colours as the springtime is here. The wind is blasting in off the Atlantic Ocean. You may be able to hear it. And it's been a pleasure talking to you from anywhere, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. And remember, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you'll be loved. And I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye.